Hi guys, today we have Suzy McGrath joining us from Brisbane. How are you today, Suzy?
I'm very good, thank you, Kashyap. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, and it is nice to meet you again. So, how are things in
You
Brisbane?
too. They're fantastic. It's perfect weather outside. It's very warm. I say very warm. It's about 14, which is cold for us, but for the most part, it's good. Not too busy, which is great.
That sounds great. So, can you tell us something about your company and the role that you play in the company, and what are the products that you sell? I personally love the products that you sell, so you can go ahead and list them out.
Thank you. I love them too, which makes this so happy for me to do. So we own Better Living Australia. I'm the director along with my husband, and we sell medical adjustable beds to consumers all around the country. So we're a national business, and we specialise in people with a disability on the NDIS program, people with quite severe health concerns, and also just people that are, lacking good quality sleep. So we sort of, I guess, sell mostly to people 45 and over that have been sleeping on conventional flatbeds their whole life and then realise that their quality of sleep is deteriorating, their health is deteriorating, and they need to change it. So we help them to reinvent the way that they sleep,
That's pretty
get a better
interesting.
quality of life, less pain.
That's that's pretty interesting. So, how did you come about this business? In fact, so where was this?
It was
Go ahead.
It was pretty random, actually. So we were previously in real estate, and we were looking for a new business venture, and this one sort of caught our eye. It was a little bit, I guess, lacking detail in the business listing, and so once we went and laid, or we met the gentleman that was selling. Um, I thought that if even 40 or 50% of what he was telling me these beds could do was true, they are pretty amazing. And then when we actually tried the beds, I actually suffer myself with degenerative spinal disorder. So I have quite chronic back pain. At the time I bought the business, I was only 35. And for the first time in 7 years, when I laid on that bed, I had no back pain. So I was pretty much in with everything I had because I knew that there were, hundreds of thousands of people that I could help around the country that suffer with pain like I do.
So that's
So
when
very
you
passionate
decided.
about what we do.
Gotcha. So that's when you decided this is it, right? So when it solved your back pain, you
Yeah.
thought, okay, this is what is going to help out a lot of other people around the country as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. It was really important to me because I know that, you can take all the painkillers that you want, but it doesn't actually help solve the problem. And not that the beds are, you know, changing people's lives by fixing their issues, but it is symptomatic relief, but without the medication.
Right. I really wish you shipped one to India, but in this
I'll
kind of.
do it for you. I will do it for you.
Thank you so much. So how is the business going in this kind of situation during this pandemic? Since you deliver to a lot of places and stuff, is it taken a lot of hit like other businesses?
um, Look, we definitely could have um, sunk, if you like. There's a sink or swim vibe in Australia at the moment with your business, and a lot of people are sinking. We are mostly expo based, so we go to expos where 40, 50, 60, 100,000 people are, and we talk to them about the bed. So 95% of our business was face to face, business to consumer selling, and obviously that on the 22nd of March got cancelled. So we could have definitely just gone under. But I had a little bit of a nervous breakdown, as most people probably would have. And then I sat down and I pretty much changed the whole way that the business was structured in about a 48-hour period. And if I'm completely honest, without Zoho, there's no way we could have done it. There's no way we could have survived the way that we have, because while income is down, we haven't had to lay any staff off. We haven't had to reduce anybody's hours, and we're still doing, fairly well considering the climate that everybody else is, struggling with.
That's pretty interesting because you plan a business model and you have everything settled for the future, and then suddenly something like this comes across, you have to change the entire way you do business. And I'm so glad that you were able to figure it out within such a short period of time. So how many employees do you have right now?
So we have about 16 that work with us, and we're expanding at the moment. So we probably need another 3 to 5 people on in a short space of time. And they range from the office team that help me run the business to the sales team, and then to our delivery and maintenance team. So we have a fairly a good solid structure. We've probably doubled the number of employees that we've had since we first owned the business. And yeah, it's a good business structure. And as I said, with Zoho, and we used to work everything off of Excel spreadsheets in Google Drive. So a very large business running off of hundreds of spreadsheets. So there was no way to report. There was no way to calculate without doing manual calculations, the sales figures and all of those kind of things. And it was about October last year that I decided that enough was enough and that we needed a CRM program. And we tried many different ones in the last 4 years, and none of them could do what we needed the program to do. Whereas Zoho, as you know, is very customizable, which means you can take the blueprint of the program and highly customize it to do what you need it to do, which is basically what we have achieved over the last 8 months. And without it, we rolled it out to all the staff in about January, the end of January. And then, of course, lockdown happened on the 22nd of March for us. So without Zoho in place, if we were still working on Excel spreadsheets, there's no way we could have do what we're doing now, because we're largely phone sales based for the time being.
Right, that's you had a 2-month gap to get your employees on board to all the cloud solutions that we offer in Zoho, and I think that kind of helped in a little way in handling this, reinventing your business model itself, right?
Absolutely, and we use we're with Zoho One, so we have all of the applications at our fingertips, and I would say we use 20 of those every day. We're really trying to maximize the use of the actual program in its entirety. They talk to each other too, so many apps integrate with the CRM, which means if you create something in one of the apps like Zoho Forms or Zoho Sign, it can actually have an automation where it automatically drops that completed form to your customer as an attachment. So there's no manual handling of it.
Right. Now I understand.
Which is a fantastic feature.
Now I get it why you're such an advanced user when it comes to your queries regarding Zoho.
I don't know that I'm an advanced user. I just I have no choice. I had to learn it. I have to move forward. And I do have a gentleman that I use in Australia who's my Zoho partner, and he's amazing. And in the short term, he customized Zoho for us and did it all behind the scenes. And since then, I ask him to train me. So I now pay him to show me how to do things rather than getting him just to do them. And that's given me a lot of additional information that I would never ordinarily have known what to do with, which has been fantastic.
Right. So I have one more question. So you talked about reinventing your business, right? So can you give us some of the tips or some of the inputs on what kind of things that you had to look forward and change the things for the future? Because a lot of businesses have taken a hit. A lot of businesses aren't surviving, but somehow you managed to reinvent the model that seemed to succeed. So can you share us or give us some inputs on that?
Sure. So previous to COVID-19, and this is going to shock you, we never did any marketing. Nothing.
Wow.
Because we were business to consumer and face to face, we would go to these expos and we would simply talk to people. So we didn't really need to market the company because we weren't trying to do online sales or phone sales. We were trying to do more brand awareness within the expo circuit. And for us, obviously, we've tried marketing in the past, not a great deal, but we do a bit of TV marketing for brand awareness and things like that, but we never really did any other kind of marketing. So the biggest thing for me was when we hit COVID-19 and we realised that nobody could leave their house, We had at that time, about 3,500 leads in our CRM program that we had touched but not sold to. So instantly, I needed to get a marketing campaign up and running to make sure that we were continually in the forefront of our previous leads, mind's eye, I guess. If they're looking for a bed, we want to think they're going to get emails reminding them of better living and what we can do to help them. So creating marketing campaigns was a very, very big thing that we needed to do, and I'm still learning a lot about that, as you know. But that's been a big one for us. Also making sure we're following up in the timeframes that we need to follow up to ensure that we can close the deals on hot leads rather than letting them go warm or go to a competitor, and the CRM allows us to do that because instead of having to previously write in your diary when you needed to call somebody, we have the task set. There's automations in the program that when you select a certain status, it'll prompt you to set a task to remember to call them back. And then you actually don't have to remember anymore. You get a task list every day, and when you find time in your day to call that person, you call them and then you close off the task and reset another task. So the automation component with Zoho has really helped us to make sure that we're following procedures. We also had to write a whole plethora of new procedures to go with it, because not only were we so used to just selling a bed and delivering it, we then had to work out a completely different way of doing that because of the fact that we weren't able to necessarily go into people's homes. Some people didn't want us in their homes. We're still classified as essential workers, but some people didn't want us in their homes in case we were asymptomatic carriers of coronavirus. So all of those things, we had to, I guess, remodel the way that we do things. So we were able to put new relationships into place with different suppliers that were in the area that could help us rather than flying our teams around the country like we would normally do, because all the flights got cancelled. Yeah. So there was lots of different avenues that we needed to, I guess, completely 180 what we were currently doing to be able to still facilitate the running of the business.
I understand. Well, I can say that you adapted pretty quickly to the digital platforms and to the current situation. I think that's the key to success in your business, I guess, during this pandemic.
Absolutely. And the beautiful part about it is I would never normally be doing coding in the back of a CRM program or marketing campaigns or anything, along those lines. And it's really forced me to give myself a new upskill in those departments, because I'm definitely not IT focused. I don't know if you know, I've got blonde hair here. I don't really deal with phones or laptops or computers very well, but it's the programs themselves are very user friendly. So if you've got the time to sit down and learn it, most people will be able to get a grasp on what to do. And if I can do it, I'm telling you, 80% of the population can do it.
I would slightly disagree with you there, because I know how you use and your queries are always challenging me. So, so I know you're pretty amazing when it comes to finding your solutions using our platforms.
Finding solutions, I think I'm good with. The actual implementation, programming-wise, I struggle. But I am very... I don't like to fail and I don't like to give up. So if there's something that needs to be learned, I'll sit there and relearn it and relearn it and relearn it until I've got it, and then I'm good. I don't just like to go, I can't do that, I'll just pass it on to somebody else.
I think that's why your company is where it is right now, because of your relentless work and the need to find the solutions. All right, Suzy,
thank you so much.
Anytime. It was a pleasure having you with us today, and I hope all the best for your company and you as well.
Thank you. Take care of yourself.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you.